Eight Limbs Us is sponsored by Muay Nation and Onyx MMA in Singapore. And this was my fight against Gaengaew Glomgliao. Her name is fun to say. I don't know if I said the last part right. But this was my second fight of 3 that was in 4 days. So I fought the night before this, fought this night, and then I'd have 1 day off and then head to another fight. When you fight all in succession like that, you basically just don't want to get cut because that's the only thing that's really going to keep you from the next fight. And I kind of didn't know who I was fighting until I got there and looked at the program. This is Small Man in my corner. I thought that Pinu was kind of making a joke about him because he is quite tiny. And Pinu calls him Small Man in English, but then when I looked up his name, which is Biak, it actually means small, so his name is Small Man. That's the ref looking at my sakyat. And this was in Nakhon Nayok, which is kind of up by where Small Man is from. And so I got up there and saw this name on the program and realized that this is the fighter who fought against Japanese world champion at 100 pounds WPMF champ Saya Ito about 2 weeks prior. So I've fought Saya Ito and then I've trained with her as well. And I haven't been able to fight her since. I'd like to fight her again, especially now that she's world champ. But she fought against Gaengaew 2 weeks before this and the result was a draw. So it's good to be facing the girl who faced Saya because that's just one way to kind of see where you're at when comparing to people who won't fight you. Gaengaew's pretty tall. I think that she weighed in slightly heavier than she was supposed to for Saya's fight. I reckon she walks around at maybe like 49 or something. She's very slim, but she is quite tall. And the cool thing about festival fights is that not only are they really awesome venues, but people kind of, I don't know, poo-poo festivals as being full of like country bumpkins or something that you don't get good fights at, but you can actually fight world champions, and I often fight very good fighters at festival fights. And the reason they're there is because of the side bets. So don't poo-poo festival fights, you can get really, really good opponents there. And that's how I got to fight Gaengaew, which is exciting. I didn't really know what to expect from her, but when I looked in her corner, I recognized a girl on her team as having fought on the same card that I had fought on the night before, and her fight was awesome, man. She fought against Greek fighter Fanny, and Fanny won that fight very decisively, but this woman she was fighting from Gaengaew's gym was so tough. I was kind of fangirling a little bit seeing her in the corner. I wanted to be like, you are so awesome. Which I actually did at the very end of the fight. But so going in, I didn't really have any sore spots or anything like that from my fight the night before. I wasn't really feeling a lot other than maybe a little bit fatigued from the travel and stuff like that, but that's totally normal. It's not a big deal. The biggest thing to really focus on was Gaengaew's height. Our weight difference didn't make that big of a difference, but our height difference did because it changes all of your angles. And she's actually a pretty good clincher. She was totally game to clinch, and here she was getting me sideways, which made it very difficult for me to do the things that I'm good at in the clinch. But sometimes you'll get these really long, tall fighters are also knee fighters. And I kind of match up well against them because I like to be on the inside and they don't use their reach because they're knee fighters. So I don't think that she was prepared for my lock in this fight. But here I'm just trying to stay close, especially because of her height, try to cut off the height that she does have on me. Small Man doesn't really yell at me during fights, so I don't really know what his fight advice is. But he brought Tong with him, who is another fighter who sometimes is at our gym, and I was really happy to see him. I hadn't seen him in probably 6 months or something. So Tong was in my corner, and he was far more vocal. So here I'm bouncing, trying to kind of keep active in the clinch. If you keep active, the ref won't break you. Trying to change position and get some knees in. You gotta kind of watch out for these girls who have like super snappy outfits. When they're all uniform like this, it usually means they got it off of a really nice fight card. That was a good knee. I remember it. And that's how refs like pop you off of the rope instead of breaking you. It's so cool. So, end of round 1. My hair's already messed up. It's so annoying when you can't fix it. I can kind of tell I've got this like trucker let's do this attitude in this fight. I can like see it as I'm walking around into the ring. There, she's using her height, but my turns are going against her height there. I got a good knee in there and she's trying to get that score back here. Trying to kick high, but she's blocked. She's aggressive, man. For someone so tall, the way she comes in is really effective. Like she's, as a forward fighter, she's pretty aggressive. But I like her coming straight into me because I definitely need to be closer. Should have followed her on that one, even if it's just a demonstration. Make some theater. The guy who was working the front door recognized me and asked me what the side bet on this fight was because he wanted to add to it. I don't know if he ultimately did. That was a good knee. I remember that one too. So here I need to turn. She's almost got my back. That's a good point for her. Just got credit on that. The under catch. Just toss her on the ground. That's not one you want to do all the time, but it works when it works. And here she's being a little bit more conservative now. That rip down looks good for me. That was a good knee though. See, I need to get on the outside of her leg there. That's how I'm trying to square up so that I can score again. I can see that's hurting her neck the way I'm locking there. You can see her body positions. She's kind of like weakening against it. Here she's just trying to keep me at a distance. I push it down, knee over it. And she kind of has to change her game plan there. So since she's already an aggressive fighter going into round 3, it was a question of how aggressive she was going to get. And her corner was telling her to just come, so she definitely kept going forward. Here I'm trying to turn her. She does lock onto the ropes. You're not allowed to do that, but a lot of people do. That's a good lock. As the fight went on, and she started to get a little bit more tired, but despite her being tired, she was still coming forward. She was so game. When I was locking her, she started making these little noises in the clinch that made me aware that she was definitely struggling against it. They were kind of these like like very frustrated, get the hell off of me kind of sounds. So here she's pushing on my face, so I can't quite lock, but I'm trying to move around her leg, that outside leg. You can hear Kevin's advice that I should knee her. It's good advice. So here I'm pulling her backwards a little bit. Got a good knee in there, and then she missed on hers. So she keeps coming forward, like she's definitely trying to score, and when I catch her like this, I'm getting those sounds out of her because she's frustrated. And you can see when she kicks, she doesn't really have power. They're kind of gestures towards scoring on her way in, which is good. I should actually do that as I come in as well. That was good for her. But you can see her feet are kind of getting tangled. She doesn't have the balance for it. Caught her. Here I knee her in the face. The ref threw his arms up in the air. I only saw that when I was watching the video, but I think that he's basically putting his arms up to let the audience know they're working. Like, I'm not going to break this because there's movement. So here I should be moving her across the ropes, but instead I'm kind of climbing on her. Kevin is emphatic. I need to go. So she kind of lost whatever aggressive lead she might have had in that round. So now I need to keep climbing. It's hard because she's aggressive and definitely pushes with energy, even though she doesn't have huge reserves of it. So I'm trying to keep her back, trying to work on the frustration she's feeling. But since she comes into me, like she collapses into me a lot, it's good for me to just be able to lock a knee on her. I should be turning more, especially now that she's tired. Those tire people out, those knees up into the rib cage there, even though they're not super strong.
Push off, baby, push off.
Kevin wants me to push her off and then strike off of it. So here's a lock, even though I have outside position, which is basically a strength thing. But if you can do that from basically an inferior position, it looks pretty good.
Keep going.
Oh, she's coming at it. She's awesome, man.
Knee, baby, knee. Come on, baby, come on, keep going.
She must be a nightmare to fight if you're not
Keep going.
frustrating her the way that I am. Here, she's trying to get some of those knees into the center, but she's kind of struggling up top at the same time. I finally get a hook around her arm, and so she's trying to struggle with the arm, and that's how I'm able to get a bunch of those knees in. This kid's way excited. I don't know what his deal is. Deep punch. So here, when we got into the corner, she pushes me in, and I throw an elbow that actually broke her nose. Oh, no, sorry. That wasn't that part. I spoiled it for you guys. That happens later. So here she's pushing me back into the corner. Elbow. That looks like it didn't even hit her, but it clipped her across the nose, and she got this red line across it that was bleeding. I've never cut someone with an elbow before, so I was pretty excited about that. Coming back to the corner like I'm pissed off. I wasn't pissed. I was tired, I think. So here, I'm sure she would love for in the 5th round for it to be that she just needs to dance off, but she can't based on how the fight's been going. So even though she's super exhausted, I'm pretty tired, she's got to keep coming forward. Catch her, put her down. She lands right on one of the judges on the side there. The audience is pretty quiet. I don't know what the gambling was like. The side bet was going, but I don't know what the odds were at this point. So here I'm just trying to use muscle, basically. Teep and run, teep and run. So when I catch her, I gotta land those knees so that it's not just running away. And when you hear that in the music, that means it's like the round is coming to an end. It'll speed up, and you hear that kind of tonal change. I really need to work on my leg dance off. I've been saying that for a while, but I really got to do it. Every time I watch these videos, I'm like, damn, Sylvie, you need to look a lot cooler than that. It's like when I used to power walk after I got someone in an 8 count. So much respect to her. Look at her. Keep fighting to the last bell. I knew how tired she was, but man, she kept coming. She's so strong. She's a good fighter. And here I'm geeking out. I'm asking her trainer whether this girl is the girl who fought last night. And the ref has to like rip me off of the corner to be like, you won, you jerk. You go to the middle of the ring. And I'm like, is that the fighter from last night? So now you get to see a bit of this festival. It was actually a pretty small enclosure, but the crowd was pretty good, and they were all very cool. As I was walking through, they were telling me good job, and a couple of guys came up to tell me and stuff like that. But the fights that night were so weird. There were like 2 fights that got called off because one guy just didn't want to fight or whatever. You could see that sometimes. But this is how they make these enclosures. This is basically just a tarp that circles the entire area to keep people out so that they can charge admission at the front. At temples, you'll see people climb up the stairs so that they can look over the tarp and still watch the fights. There's a VIP stage that no one was on. That's Tong. And then here I'm trying to tell Kevin about those weird sounds she was making. It's apparently really impactful to me directly after the fight.
Why you're kneeing?
Yeah. That was fun.